It is an absolute honor to be joined by the 34th Commandant of the United States Marine Corps, General James Conway. And as well, he is a member of the Energy Security Leadership Council. General, Semper Fi, thanks for being with us.
Thanks, Alan. Welcome to the opportunity.
All right. I got to tell you, one of the great tours of duty I had was as the Army liaison down to the 2nd Marine Expeditionary Force in Camp Lejeune for 3 years, and that's where I was promoted to Lieutenant Colonel. So it was a great, memorable experience.
Yeah, Alan, I checked your record, and I'm amazed the Army promoted you to Lieutenant Colonel.
Boy, I tell you what, you know what, the one thing I will tell you, every day I had to leave my self-esteem at my little apartment because being the only Army doggy on Camp Lejeune, you know I got just dogged.
Okay, so you're used to it, right?
I'm so used to it. Well, General, let's start by talking about the Middle East, the foreign policy, and let's look at it from your position when you used to be the commandant. You were, the number one, provider of forces, Marine forces, to the, combatant commanders, the geographic AORs. How do you see this position that we now have ourselves in as far as the United States military, and especially the United States Marine Corps? Are we in a position to really be able to respond to a lot of these hot spots we see, or have we somewhat overextended our forces?
Well, Alan, I'll hang to our concerns about our national security as it relates to our oil import requirements.
Yeah.
Today, we're importing something between 35 and 40% of our petroleum requirements.
Mm-hmm.
Years ago, just a quick history lesson. In 1936, we imported 1%. And, at that point, we were developing strategies that would choke off potential enemies, read Japan and Germany, because they imported so much of their oil.
And that was the reason why World War II in the Pacific started, because we were choking off Japan.
You know your history very well, and of course, a lot of the strategy employed against Germany was to try to cut them off from the, Caucasus oil fields.
And that's why they wanted the Ploesti fields in Romania.
Absolutely, sir. And today we find ourselves uniquely in a little bit of that same situation.
Yeah.
Except we're looking at it from the other side. And frankly, the enemy knows this. I mean, the Al-Qaeda strategy says we can't beat them in the field, but we think we can bankrupt them through control of our manipulation of the oil supply.
You're absolutely right. So what do you think? And it's funny enough because, the United States of America, after the Saudi oil embargo crisis, we created a government agency called the Department of Energy. And,
Right.
Men like you taught me as a young commander, the most important thing is to always read your mission statement. The mission statement of the Department of Energy was to make the United States of America energy independent. And we're still not there yet.
No, we're a long way from being there. Now, there's some things we can do, and that's what this Securing America's Future Energy Organization advocates. But mostly, it's to try to break this overdependence on oil and get away from what is not a very free market out there. We've got a lot of nations who sell us oil that are able to manipulate the price at their leisure. It restricts, to your earlier question, what we're able to do on a global scale.
Yeah.
With our concern for disrupting that oil supply or somehow, creating an oil price spike that drives up the gas prices and impacts our economy. So there's a number of reasons why we need to do better.
And I think that what I learned being down there at Camp Lejeune is that the littorals are so important. And when you talk about these oil exporting countries, the OPEC countries, a lot of them are littorals. And that's why it's important that we, keep open the sea lanes of commerce. One of the things that just happened last weekend that a lot of people were not talking about because of the rise of Islamic terrorism in the Sinai Peninsula, there was an attack in the Suez Canal on a cargo ship that was transiting through. I mean, what is the danger of all of a sudden a place like the Suez Canal getting shut down?
Well, it's scary. I mean, you've got roughly 10% of the world's oil supply flows through Suez either by ships or, through the pipeline that they've got through the canal.
Mm-hmm.
That's why the unrest in Egypt, Syria, I mean, the whole regional thing is so brittle that, you don't have to have a vivid imagination to think what the impact could be, again, since it's such a global market these days.
One of the, when I was up there in Congress, I had a lot of discussions with Kurdish representatives. they are so pro-American, and they have those resources there, and they're looking to be able to, have trade relationships with the United States of America. How can we, establish relationships with people such as the Kurds, which could be positive and not negative?
Well, sir, that's tough. I mean, unfortunately, I'm afraid a lot of our ability to influence what has happened in Iraq has diminished with the lesser American military presence, and I think just the nature of the current government that's there. But it's not to say we should write it off.
Yeah.
I think we've got to continue to do the things that again, SAFE advocates. Look at more efficiencies in terms of how we do use oil. I'm not talking about changing our lifestyle. We don't advocate that we diet, but I do think we can become more efficient. I think we need to open up, more federal opportunity for drilling. We think that there's certainly some alternative means out there that are not yet mature or market ready, but with some R&D, not investing in companies now. I would distinguish, but investing in bona fide laboratories that can do the research, that there's some opportunities for us. And then
you're right.
I think we just need a national energy security plan.
You're right, sir.
Not a policy, but a plan.
I got to take a break here and split, but you're absolutely right. We got to have an energy security plan, and that is missing. Alan West, guest host in the Steve Malzberg Show. General Conway, thanks so much. Hoorah, Semper Fi, sir.